That bee is a busy soul. He has no time for birth control. That's why in trying times like these, you find so many sons of bees. Good morning, Annie. Doris here. It's 50 degrees here at Ziontown and overcast and sprinkles outside. I want to talk about men. Oh, I love them all right, but they're not without fault. I remember my grandpa. God rest his soul, I love that man. But you should hear the stories that Grandma talks about. You know, Grandma was a little bit overweight, okay? She just fought that weight. But she was a good-looking woman all the same. And she had been working so hard to lose weight. And they had an appointment with an accountant. And her and Grandpa was sitting in there. And here come this lady, the accountant, and she was probably 50 pounds more than Grandma. And was dressed meticulously. And Grandpa said, "My goodness, that's a good-looking woman." And Grandma said she just wanted to kill him. There she sat, starving to death, had a rice cake for breakfast. And he's admiring a woman that's heavier than her. So, poof, poof went that. Poof went that deal. You know, Grandma said the other day, I guess I was the only I'm the only widow that wasn't married to a saint. She can't help but notice that these women lose their husbands. And all of a sudden, they were the greatest man that ever lived. Now, never mind they cheated on her, treated her like dirt, whatever went on. But all of a sudden, they die, and next thing you know, they're the greatest man that ever lived. All they can do is brag, brag, brag. It's just hilarious. Oh, then there was the funny stuff that Grandpa would do. Well, Grandpa adored women. He just loved them. And so they were down at Pompano Park, and they're racing horses, and they were in with this gentleman who had a very attractive wife. I think her name was Bunny. And there's Grandma, you know, she's always dressed appropriately for the barn, I guess you want to call it, you know, work boots and, you know, practical jeans, etc. And there's Grandma, she's cleaning her stalls, you know, and lugging her manure basket out there and tossing it in the spreader. And here's Bunny, she fills up her little manure basket, you know, and she can't pick it up. And she says, so Grandpa runs over there. Oh, poor little Bunny, you can't lift that. That's too heavy for you, honey. And so he goes through and he picks up her little basket while Grandma's standing there just seething, you know. And then she sees Bunny come through the stall door, and Grandpa's standing there in the stall door, and Bunny brushes those boobies against him, you know, and he's just grinning like a Cheshire cat. Well, I thought Grandma was going to kill him. All the funny things that they do, the funny things that they do. I tell you, men can be a hoot. But anyway, she said, when you listen to these women who are widowed, they just tell you how great that man was, and oh, what a saint. She said, I must have been the only person married to a normal man. And she loved Grandpa. We all love Grandpa. We're just kidding about the things that men do. It can just, it's funny, you know. I couldn't remember. We had an aluminum truck camper shell. And Grandpa wanted to take it off the truck. So he unfastened it from the truck. And he tells Grandma, now get up in there and lift that thing up. And she said, what? And he said, no, you'll get up in that truck. That shell only weighs 60 pounds. I could still see her standing there with that camper shell on her back, you know, doing this. And Grandpa's a little to the left, a little to the right. Oh, my God. And then one day he was going to drag the track. And the screen just wasn't biting in good enough. And he said, I can't find any concrete blocks. And he asked Grandma to sit on the screen for weight. Oh, the things that poor woman did. Oh, but anyway, that's just the funny, darker side. God love him. He was no saint, but I loved that man, and so did she. We all did. This is Auntie Doris. You have a nice day. Bye. Oh, I just